Welcome to Plot Munchers. Today we're diving into the 2019 comedy Son of a Rich. Spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. Our story revolves around Grisha, the spoiled son of one of Russia's wealthiest men. He's arrogant, entitled, and constantly finds himself in trouble because he's never held accountable for his actions. Grisha lives a life of excess, partying, drinking, and treating women poorly. One night, after abandoning a girl who refused his advances, he's pulled over by the police for speeding. Grisha tries to bribe Captain Semyonov, but the officer refuses. When Grisha attempts to flee, Semyonov blocks his car, but Grisha speeds off anyway, leaving the officer clinging to the hood. Grisha's father, Pavel, arrives at the police station to bail him out. Despite being in custody, Grisha remains as demanding as ever. The police chief reminds Pavel of Grisha's recent misdeeds, destroying a yacht, severely injuring a cop, and more. He warns Pavel that his son is out of control and needs a reality check. Pavel scolds Grisha and threatens to cut him off financially, but Grisha knows his father never follows through. Frustrated, Pavel seeks advice from Anastasia, a TV producer he's romantically involved with. Anastasia suggests involving Lev Arnoldovich, a master of immersive psychological experiences she once collaborated with on horror projects. Though unconventional, Lev's methods are effective, and Pavel agrees to meet him. Lev, an eccentric inventor, demonstrates his ability to create lifelike illusions by staging a gruesome scene where he pretends to sever a finger. Pavel is skeptical but intrigued, and he agrees to let Lev execute an elaborate plan to rehabilitate Grisha. One night after leaving a club, Grisha sees his car being towed. As he chases after it, he's tranquilized and loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he finds himself in a rustic stable, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. A stable boy named Artyom tells him to prepare the horses, warning that their lord won't tolerate disobedience. Confused and defiant, Grisha resists and is dragged out by the foreman, Avdej, who berates and whips him. Grisha soon realizes he's in a village set in 1860s Russia, complete with serfdom-era customs. Desperate to escape, he flees into the forest but falls into a lake and is recaptured. Dmitri, the estate owner, nearly orders his execution for fleeing, but his compassionate daughter, Aglaya, pleads for mercy. Unbeknownst to Grisha, this entire setup is an elaborate simulation orchestrated by Lev, funded by Pavel. Hidden cameras, drones disguised as birds, and trained actors maintain the illusion. Anastasia, leveraging her TV production expertise, ensures everything runs smoothly. At this point, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more gripping stories. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. We appreciate your support. As Grisha endures harsh treatment, early wake-ups, grueling work, meager meals, and punishments for insolence, Pavel begins to question if he's made the right decision. Lev reassures him that this tough love is necessary for Grisha's growth. Meanwhile, the actors prepare for upcoming scenes, adhering to strict rules to preserve historical accuracy. Grisha, unaware of the ruse, starts adjusting to his new reality, slowly learning lessons about humility, responsibility, and respect. Grisha advises Aglaya, who is considering marrying an elderly, wealthy man, that it's a smart move since the man might pass away soon, leaving her with his fortune. Later, Grisha steals a chicken and convinces Artyom to gather supplies for making soup. However, Grisha selfishly eats the entire meal without sharing. When the theft is discovered, Avdej demands the thief confess or risk punishing an innocent person. Grisha stays silent as Artyom is whipped for the crime. Artyom later shows Grisha the scars on his back, but Grisha remains indifferent. His attention shifts when he notices Liza, catching a glimpse of her modern undergarments during a mishap. Intrigued, he tries to get closer to her, but villagers intervene to protect Liza. As Grisha's selfishness and lack of progress become apparent, Pavel considers ending the experiment. However, there's a surprise when Grisha unexpectedly seeks out Liza to apologize. Initially wary, Liza accepts his apology, though she remains cautious. During the Ivan Kupala festival, known for its romantic legends, Grisha lightens the mood by introducing the lambada dance and a conga line. Meanwhile, Aglaya confides that she plans to end her life in despair over her arranged marriage. Instead of rushing to help, Grisha spends time with Liza, discussing future technologies and bonding. Their moment is interrupted when Artyom informs him about Aglaya's situation. Grisha eventually decides to save her, but after rescuing her, he rejects her advances and looks for Liza instead. Grisha visits Liza's house, hoping to fulfill the festival legend by spending the night with her. However, Liza shuts the door on him. Later, the production team decides to shift the narrative, making Liza his new love interest, despite her initial dislike for him. She agrees to help Grisha become a better person, even though it strains her relationship with her boyfriend, Alexei. A new subplot emerges. Alexei causes trouble in town, injures a sheriff, and avoids consequences because of his noble status. Instead of being repulsed by this arrogance, Grisha envies Alexei's reckless night. However, when Dmitri offers Grisha his freedom in exchange for taking Alexei's punishment, Grisha reluctantly agrees. For the first time, he shares his reward of food with Artyom. Meanwhile, tensions rise between other characters. Anastasia and Lev rekindle their bond, but Lev reassures Pavel that Anastasia's true feelings are for him, prompting Pavel to reassess their relationship. Grisha endures the whipping, leaving Pavel too distraught to watch. Anastasia consoles him, highlighting the success of Lev's psychological tactics. Following the punishment, Grisha seeks his promised freedom papers from Dmitri, but instead encounters Alexei. Alexei mocks him, physically assaults him, and reveals the promise of freedom was a lie. Grisha contemplates fighting back, but ultimately walks away, disheartened. Despite the betrayal, he resumes his role as a stable boy, showing subtle signs of personal growth. Grisha starts spending more time with Liza and develops feelings for her. One day while they're walking together, they spot a bird flying in a strange pattern. It turns out to be a drone malfunctioning in midair. As the crew prepares for a potential emergency, Liza tries to calm Grisha by sharing that she's seen the bird since childhood and believes it to be a guardian angel. Fortunately, the technicians regain control of the drone, and there's no need for the sniper. Meanwhile, Alexei and Aglaya are frustrated with the situation. Aglaya is upset about being replaced by Liza, and Alexei is uncomfortable with his girlfriend spending so much time with Grisha. The tension peaks when Alexei and Aglaya are caught in a compromising position by Grisha and Liza. Liza is devastated by Alexei's betrayal, and Grisha mistakes the scene for a troubling familial encounter. This results in Lev firing both Alexei and Aglaya. To cheer Liza up, Grisha goes the extra mile by decorating a stable with candles and preparing a special dinner for her. They share a meal and talk, during which Grisha confesses he would marry her if he were free. Reflecting on past mistakes, he admits he wanted to punch Alexei, but refrained after seeing his own reflection in him. Liza is moved by his words and kisses him. Meanwhile, Aglaya appears on a popular talk show, spreading the news of Grisha's supposed kidnapping and torture. This prompts a police investigation, but Pavel is keen to shut down the operation before they arrive. Lev, however, insists they wait, believing they still have time to stage a heroic act for Grisha. While Grisha and Liza are together, Liza tells him that if they are separated, everything they shared would be real to her. Just then, Artyom arrives and informs them of a Mongol attack on the village. Grisha, believing the story, suggests an alternate route, but Artyom, following Lev's instructions, convinces him to return to the village, claiming the Mongols will destroy it if the workers aren't present. The Mongols arrive in the village, where their leader demands a woman as part of a tribute. After a brave man loses a duel to save his daughter, she is set free. The Mongols' next choice is Liza, but when she calls out to Grisha, he cowardly turns away. Seeing the plan falter, Pavel is ready to shut everything down. But Lev believes in Grisha and waits. When Grisha notices the bird drone overhead, he believes it's a sign from Liza's guardian angel. Determined to act, Grisha rides back, using Liza's old stick as a weapon to strike the Mongols. He rescues Liza, and they escape together just as the police arrive. The crew quickly convinces the officers it's all a movie shoot. Grisha and Liza eventually leave the estate and come across a gas station, leaving Grisha confused. Liza is about to explain everything when a sniper strikes, knocking him unconscious. Grisha later wakes in a hospital, where Pavel lies about the events, telling him he's been in a coma for 3 months after a car accident. Grisha struggles to return to his old life, giving away his car to Captain Semyonov as part of his redemption. One night at a club, Grisha confronts Alexei and Aglaya, asking about Liza. They pretend not to know him, leaving him heartbroken. However, they eventually take pity on him and offer him information about Liza's whereabouts. The next day, they take him to the ranch where Liza works, and when they finally meet again, Grisha asks if everything between them was real. Liza confirms, and the two share a kiss, beginning a fresh chapter in their relationship. Later, Grisha brings Liza to his father's wedding, where he thanks him for the unexpected journey that helped him grow into a better person. Grisha continues to help rehabilitate other privileged individuals who come to the village.